Hey everybody, my 16 and welcome to another top 10 video. Basically, this will be top 20 of, well, games I would believe that's coming to the Nintendo 64 Classic, the N64 Classic Edition, which has, well, you know, kind of gonna be a thing anyways. So, these are the 20 games I believe will be on the N64 Classic. Now, really quick before I actually get started into the, well, top 10 and top 20, whatever, I want to say that they have not announced of how many 64 games are being going on to the N64 Classic, or even if the N64 Classic is real or not, which they kind of have and haven't really announced, but still. So, I'm only going to say 20. Yes, there are so many other possibilities for other games making this list. That's not going to be on this list. I am sorry. I looked at my own catalog of N64 games. I looked up other top related N64 games to get some kind of an idea. I went off from Torquely, IGN, GameSpot, just literally every single person I can think of, from just online reviews, top 10s, Watch Mojo, just anything. I was just kind of like, okay, that makes sense, you know. I wanted to get the best perspective in mind throughout the history of the Nintendo 64, including my own personal preferences, including other people's preferences, not just my own, because there's some games on this list I would love to see on the N64 Classic, which is not even on my list. I can say 2, for example, is not going to be on this list because of, well, reasons. So the first one's not going to be on this list. It would be Conker's Bad Fur Day. I would love to see it on this thing. Trust me, I really would. But I just not seeing that the whole Rated M for Mature thing's going to go on there for other games as in Doom and I think Perfect Dark. So I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Because I do have one shooting game on here. One. Or no, well, 2. But still, you know, kind of predicting the whole thing if Conker's Bad Fur Day didn't go on here or not. But if it was, I would for sure put this on this list. Including the other one I want to say that I would love it to be on the N64 Classic, but it's one of my favorite games on the 64, but I don't think it's going to be on the 64 Classic, is a Bomberman Hero. There is another Bomberman game on this list, by the way, but it's not Hero. So I will say that. But anyways, the other thing I want to mention is that if, like I said, if it's not 20, it could be 10, it could be 15, it could be 30. I don't know. These are just, you know, 20 to 10 games I want to see on the N64 Classic. And most likely, maybe you too. I have seen a lot of lists that kind of basically almost match mine. So, I want to see what you guys' opinion is on it. So, you might hate me, you might love me, you might just, like, agree with me or completely, I don't know, not. So, let's get into it. So, before the one more thing, actually, I know how the whole SNES Classic was in. They announced something that was never released to us in North America, or really anywhere, was the Star Fox 2, right? So if they were going to throw in a curveball like that again for the N64 Classic, I would love to say Earthbound 64, you know, that canceled somewhat game that got converted to Mother 3 on its Game Boy Advance. I would love to see that. Of course, there's a bunch of other probably canceled or whatever games from the N64 era I'm not even aware of. But if not, the biggest thing I would say is the Nintendo 64 DD disc drive from Japan, which is only available in Japan. I would love to see that on the Nintendo 64 Classic, the N64 Classic, putting into games as in that, you know, used it, or even have games that was only on the on the disc drive. Sorry, the N64 DD, as in I think Mario Studio was one of them, with the whole Mario Studio series, like 4 of them or 3 of them, whatever it was. The whole FZero X expansion kit and everything else. I would love to see just anything that was N64 DD exclusively on the N64 Classic, and you can have it just as that alone, you know, like having it as a new game, just like New Games Plus or something like that. So I'm kind of taking that one part from Re-Res, if you've seen his or not, but still, here we go. Number 20. Number 20. Okay, you might hate me on this one. It is GoldenEye 007. Now, wait a minute before you start hating me. GoldenEye 007, I have checked it out, okay? Like I said, to me, it wouldn't even be on this list. It really wouldn't be if I had to pick Conker's Bad Fur Day on here. I really wouldn't have, or really wouldn't even put it on here. So, GoldenEye 007, yes, I get it. The whole nostalgic thing, and the whole people playing it for 4 players. Now here's the thing. I don't know anyone in nowadays that might get 4 people, 3 other people, to play with him to play, you know, that game, including, let's say, that the N64 Classic even supports having 4 controller ports, because, well, hopefully it should make sense that it does, because that's what the whole biggest selling thing was, other than the colors and all that. So I'm hoping it kind of does, you know. Of course, that's like the big part. And of course, no one ever talks about the story other than like the first 2 missions. I personally haven't ever really played GoldenEye 007. I didn't grow up with that game back in the day. I knew about it like way later on in my life. I don't know, way. I'm only 24 right now. So I would say, like, when I was like 16 or something, I learned about the game. It was just because the reboot was coming out of GoldenEye 007 on the Wii. So, and then it got reloaded on the, well, you know, the 360 and PS3, but still, GoldenEye 007, I understand. I actually played it. It doesn't hold up as much as other games. I would say the same thing with Perfect Dark, but I'm just saying that because it's not on the list. I'm sorry, Perfect Dark is not on the list, but that's just my personal opinion. I'm sorry, but yeah. Alright, number 19. This one's I'm kind of cheating. It's gonna be the only one I'm cheating, okay? Kinda. So, I wanted to put a puzzle game. Not just like, oh, I want to put one on here. I like 2 puzzle games, but if the N64 Classic only can do 1, I'm not saying it's not supportive, but whatever. If we can only put 1 puzzle game, of course, I thought of Bust a Move 1990, or Bust a Move 99, or whatever it is, 94, 98. I thought about Bust a Move 2, or whatever it was, an arcade one. I thought of, the new Tetris. I thought of all these, like, possibilities, but the only 2 that keeps popping up in mind, I would have to say, is Dr. Mario 64 and Pokemon Puzzle League. Now, those are like literally the only 2 I can remember playing, and even everybody else was playing. I know more people most likely will say Pokemon Puzzle League. I get that, because I don't know many people that actually play Dr. Mario 64. But I play both, not equally. Yes, I play Puzzle League more than Dr. Mario 64, but, you know, they're both puzzle games. Like I said, if not, to me, if it was me, I would for sure put Pokemon Puzzle League on the N64 Classic and not Dr. Mario, but I feel like Dr. Mario has more of a chance to play Puzzle League. I could be wrong. I don't know. So that's why I'm kind of cheating with these 2 entries, because I feel like they kind of both match, including Pokemon Puzzle League. I feel like it has a disadvantage because of its voices, you know, licensing issues, and who knows, maybe that could be a problem. I don't know. I really don't know. Dr. Mario 64, no way, it's no problem. It's just Nintendo. They can throw it in there if they want to, any moment, anytime they want. It can be like, oh, hey, we just put this number like 7 in the N64 Classic. I don't know, you know. So yeah, number 19's teens, like I said, 2 of them. All right, number 18. So this one is a Japanese exclusive, but was on the Virtual Console. It is Sin and Punishment. So I've actually played Sin and Punishment on the Nintendo 64. Not like actual on the 64. I played it on the Virtual Console through the Wii when I first got it. It was like ages ago. Sorry, I'm burping for some reason. And I really liked it. It was actually very hard, but I'm pretty sure you can put some like cheat codes and stuff. I think the SNES Classic could do that, but still. I thought it was interesting. If we're going to throw in a Japanese game that we never got here in North America, or possibly even for Europe too, I would say Sin and Punishment. It's basically Nintendo again, guys. I think it's Treasure, but whatever. No, maybe it's Treasure? Or Play Alpha? I don't remember who makes Sin and Punishment, but I know it's Nintendo license. I know it's they can own it or whatever they do with it. So yeah, I know Sin and Punishment should be on N64 Classic just because it can give us a new game for North Americans that haven't really played it even on the Virtual Console, because a lot of people hasn't. I get that. So I think, yeah, Sin and Punishment should be on N64 Classic. So the next game, like I said, this is the one I wish it would have been Bomberman Hero. If it was Bomberman Hero, I would put it higher on the list, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be the one instead. It's Hudson, which is now owned by Konami. Bomberman 64. Yes, Bomberman 64 is number 17. I played some of Bomberman 64. But I feel like I said, this is probably going to be the titles can be in the game or in the game, in the console itself, most likely than Hero, and including it's not gonna happen. I already know this for a fact. Bomberman 64 Second Attack, the $150 game, whatever it is now, is not gonna be on this thing. I know it's not gonna be on this thing because no one's played Bomberman 64 Second Attack. It was a late release on the N64 lifespan. It was a very late release. It was like, I think, the last year. Same with Dr. Mario 64 and Pokemon like Stadium 2, for example. But still, Bomberman 64, I think it's going to be on there most likely in Hero or 64 Second Attack. I think it's going to be the best one. Yes, you can say it's a puzzle game, which is a 3D puzzle game, which it probably is. But I really haven't played it as much. But I do think it's going to be a better chance to be on here than the Bomberman games I said before. So number 16 is Mario Tennis. Yeah, tennis. So it was either golf or tennis. It's like, oh well, there's only one choice, you know. Like, okay, I know I'm not hating. I don't want to hate on people that actually like golf more than tennis, but come on, realistically, not saying that you guys suck or anything. In a perspective, you gotta think for the consumer wise, who likes golf more than tennis? Now, maybe people, it might be somebody, it might be you, but in the majority of the whole nation, the whole world, what do you think they can prefer more? Mario Tennis. So Mario Tennis, I have actually played this a few times on my actual N64. So, by the way, I own all these games. I just want to put that out for effect right now. I own all these games except for Sin and Punishment, the cartridge. I do own it on Virtual Console though. So, just want to point that out. I own all these games. So, yeah. Anyway, so Mario Tennis, it's just a tennis game of Mario, and it's just basically fun. Yeah, of course. Hopefully, it supports the 4-player thing, like I said with GoldenEye 007. But who knows? I don't know. I want this thing to have 4-player support, which it should, hopefully. Hopefully, but we'll have to wait and see for that. But yeah, Mario Tennis, I just believe it's just gonna be a good one. And plus, I think this is the one that they finally introduced Waluigi into the series. So why the hell not? You know, I don't think it's not gonna be on there, but I could be wrong. I don't know. So number 15 is Yoshi's Story. Yoshi's Story is a very simple game. Very simple. I've actually never beaten the game, by the way. You're probably saying, what? It's easy. Yeah, I know, it's easy. I know. I just never got to really playing it, like all the way through. Like, oh, I really want to beat the game, you know? Nothing like that. I just wanted to play it from here and there. Especially during the whole Yoshi's Story NES hype back in the day, like, I don't know, like 2013, 2012, whatever year it was. But still, I liked the game. Yeah, it's good. I think and it's the only Yoshi game, so I'm going to assume it's going to be on this N64 Classic, regardlessly, because, well, Yoshi's Island was on the SNES, and I don't have a SNES Classic, so I think Yoshi's Cookie, or Yoshi, or something, I don't know, might have been on the NES Classic. I don't know. I don't own one. I wish I owned one, but Super Nintendo and 64, that's my era. That's my era right there. So, yes, it's beautiful graphics. You get like, fruit and you beat it and there's Poochie. So I don't know. I'm just like, yeah, I don't have much to say, but I really do think it's gonna be on this for Classic. Number 14. This one, I think is a yes. I think it's gonna be on there too. But because of the whole rare issue, I don't know. It could not be. It's not. It's Nintendo. It's Rare's thing. It is Donkey Kong 64. So, we'll get back to Rare stuff, by the way. Donkey Kong 64. Not so many people have played it. I've played it, but not like beating it. For some reason, I don't know. Donkey Kong 64 didn't feel like it was a big game for me back in the day. I know it was for a lot of people because I remember me being like in school and people were talking about it, especially like a place with like a card or something. I don't know, but that's just me. So I do think it's gonna be on it because it's Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong Country was on the last one. I'm pretty sure Donkey Kong, the first game or something, was on the NES Classic. So I'm pretty sure this thing's gonna be on there too. You know, it just makes sense. It just makes sense. If only they made a freaking Metroid game on the 64. But still, I hit the mic, my bad. But still, I think it should be on the N64 Classic as well. Hey, makes sense. And I wonder if they're gonna put the expansion pack on the N64. Like, can you see the expansion pack? And plus, really quick, what color is the N64 gonna be? Are they gonna release it in certain colors? Because I feel like the main color for the N64 Classic should be black or gray. I feel like it's black, but I could be totally wrong. I don't know. Maybe they just kind of like colored all of it. I don't know. Maybe it just depends on you. I don't know. So I think it should be black. But still, next one, number 13, is FZero X. Now, of course, there should be a racing game on this thing. And it's the best racing game on the 64. Well, not the best, I know, but like kind of fast and stuff, I would say. Yeah, it's FZero X. This game is hard. Not as hard as the GameCube game, GX, but it's still hard. I've actually tried playing and beating this game. I can't do it. I mean, well, back in the day, I don't know, maybe I could do it now, who knows. But it was pretty good for what I was playing, and I remember just like the whole references, and later on I learned more of them in, well, YouTube and Did You Know Gaming Things, by the way, Shane. And, you know, it's just, it's fun. It's fun, of course. And come on, it's a Nintendo exclusive. It's Nintendo, like they're the ones that licensed this one for sure, you know. So it's gonna be on there. I think FZero was on the SNES Classic, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna be on there too. Come on. Number 12 is, well, Kirby 64 The Crystal Shards. Now this is one of my favorite games of all time. One of my favorite games of all time. I hate saying that because I say that a lot. I say that a lot in certain games, but I don't want to say all of them because, well, I want to make a top 100 games of all time for me. One day that'll be a thing. But Kirby 64 The Crystal Shards, guys, the biggest thing I remember about this game for me, probably everybody else, because I've seen so many reviews of this game as well, is that the whole combining of the power-ups to make a new power-up. Like, come on, you get like what was it, sword or something, like, you know, like spear or something, and you get fire, and you get the fire sword, or a snowman with an electric ball or explosion. I forget what makes it, but it's amazing. You got a lightsaber. There's so many possibilities. And then if you combine the same power-ups together, you get a stronger version of, like, maybe Kirby as a freaking bulldozer or something, you know? This game is amazing. I really do like it. It's not hard. It's just normal, I guess you could say. But if you're trying to 100% it, you might take a little bit of time trying to figure out what to do. But it's still good. I mean, it's a classic. N64 classic. Hate saying that, but hey, it worked out, you know. All right, so number 11 is going to be the last one on the top 20 list here. Now, this game could be a little higher. Could be. But I feel like the top 10, 9, and the rest, I feel like do point to what the 64 is. And this is one of them. But, you know, you can only put what games you think could be the best in there. And I feel like this was a very close one. So, number 11, by the way, it's a Rare game. And I'm not sure if Rare's going to put any of their games in this thing, but we'll find out and see. It is Donkey Kong 64. Diddy Kong Racing! Diddy Kong Racing, of course. I feel like it should be on this thing. It makes sense. Diddy Kong Racing was one of the most best racing games on Nintendo 64. Next to another racing game will be on this list. And of course, you know, FZero X, there was Beetle Bug Adventure, there was Mickey Speedway USA. I did consider that putting on this list, but again, you know, just a ton of others. I can't think of all of them, but like Revolt, I would say that one, you know. But come on, like, Diddy Kong Racing was one of the top tier of racing games on its 64. Next to the other game, it's not on here yet because it'll be later on in the list. So, Diddy Kong Racing. I played this a lot. I've never beat it. I'm still trying. I tried like almost a year ago, and I got frustrated with the silver coins. I can't do it. It's a really hard racing game, by the way. Really hard racing, adventure-like game. Which really isn't that many. Even to this day, there's still not that many. Other than, like, the Need for Speed kind of franchises did the whole entire thing. And they're like, well, you kind of got used to that. So, same with Burnout. But still, you know, I feel like this is where it's kind of started it all. It's especially racing in water, air, and land. I'm like, what the hell? Not all at the same time, you know, in separate races. Not like Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed, which, hey, favorite game of all time, not really, but one of. But Diddy Kong Racing, it's just a classic. Come on, you get Banjo-Kazooie, or Banjo most likely, well, is, in the game. There's also Conker, which these two characters weren't even established yet. I think maybe Conker wasn't, but I don't know about Banjo. Wasn't even established yet. in the game, and all these other characters, like maybe they were supposed to be somebody or something in other games, but never really, got anywhere. But you could see, especially where this is coming from, especially if you don't know, the ending of the game, they're supposed to be a Donkey Kong Racing, but that never happened. They were supposed to be going for the GameCube or something, but it never happened. Yeah, pretty big game, but it's so perfect. So, anyways, that's it for now. If I'm editing this together, you're going to see top 10 right. Now, Pokemon Snap. Okay, Pokemon Snap. I was debating to put what Pokemon games on this list. I did put a game on number 19-ish. You'll get it if you watch that video from part 1. That I wasn't sure that Pokemon Stadium games would be even on the 64 Classic because, well, they had to support the whole Game Boy player, and that was a big feature of the N64's Pokemon Stadium 1, 2, and then 3 if you're from Japan. But I just think that's not gonna be on there because of that reason. But if they took it off and they don't even make it like accessible, yes, I think that Pokemon Stadium games could be on this list. Especially 1, maybe not 2, because many people have played as 2 as much. But still, go and play Pokemon Snap, guys. Come on, you take pictures of Pokemon, and it's fun. Like, it just sounds stupid to say like that, but come on, it's fun actually. Where you can interact with the environment and make them do certain things or do certain things to them to just take better pictures. And of course, Professor Oak is like, "Well, you're close. It has to be better to the picture. It has to be more in the center." It's like, "Fuck you, Professor Oak. What the heck?" So like, it's just an adventure. I've never 100% that game until like about 2-3 years ago, and I was just like, it's still fun. If you always want to have a good time and play for like maybe an hour or 2, I would say play Pokemon Snap. It's like a really good game to get into, and you unlock everything basically by playing it. I mean, there's like 7 or 8 levels, worlds, I guess you could say, but it's worth it. I mean, come on, it's pretty worth it. So yeah, number 9. You might be surprised. I thought about putting it higher on the list, but I feel like everything up higher than this is probably more not rememberable. I'm not saying that like that, but just has a better chance. And yeah, I do think this has a chance anyway. So, The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. So, The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask, why do you think I put this here? Yes, it's another Zelda game. There's only 2 Zelda games on the 64. I get that. But not many people played Majora's Mask, and they still haven't. And if they compare Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and yes, I just said the damn name, I know. Who do you think is gonna win? Come on, really, who do you think is gonna win? Like the whole world, if it was like voting, who would you think will win? Yes, you're basically on the spot. So Majora's Mask, I do like the game. I do think it's a little hard though, normal than the other game, which I hate to say like that because I already mentioned it, but whatever. But the whole premise. You have 72 hours to save the world. You can go back in time. You can do certain things. It's a very depressing, sad game. It really is. But it's really fun. I mean, it is fun. You do get frustrated. I will say that if you don't know what you're doing, it can be hard. I get that. Even for myself, I'm still playing it. That's the thing. So I do think it has a chance because it's Zelda. Come on, who doesn't play Zelda? Even like girls, man. I just say like that, but there's a ton, okay? Zelda is a worldwide phenomenon. And yes, it's a girl. I mean, Link is the boy. Okay. So anyways, number 8. This is probably be the last rare game on this list because, well, it's the most memorable from them. Banjo-Kazooie, and you probably heard my dog anyway. So Banjo-Kazooie, guys, I've planned on Banjo-Kazooie for years, but I haven't really got to playing it. Well, you're probably like, what? Why? Where? When? Do it now? What the fuck? Kind of thing. I've been playing other games. I have actually been trying to play Banjo-Kazooie. I got a little further than I ever have past. You might be saying, how further? You don't want to know, because it's really not that far. So I can't say that Banjo-Kazooie is a classic. I hate to say it like that again. Any Nintendo 64 classic. But I do believe it should be on this thing. It should. It has to be. It's one of the biggest platforming games on the 64. It's none of it a doubt. It should be on this thing. It really should be. In case the whole rare situations is bad, whatever. I don't know, but it should be on this thing. That's just 100%. It's 100%. So it should be on this damn thing. If not, Rare, what the hell? Xbox, what the fuck? Microsoft, what the hell? Alright, number 7 is Paper Mario. Paper Mario, I think it should be on here. It's probably be the only RPG on the N64 Classic. Yes, there's other RPGs, but not as great as Paper Mario. Like Mischief Makers and Quest 64. And I can't remember the other RPGs on the Nintendo 64 because there really isn't many or any as much at all. So, of course, everybody when thinks about, RPG on the 64, it's just basically Paper Mario. It really is. I played Paper Mario. I beat Paper Mario. It's been, years since I even played the game. Well, not years, but I mean, it's been years since I beat the game. I remember what I'm doing, but I remember it was one of the best, funnest games I ever played. I really should say you should play Paper Mario. It's just fun, guys. It's fun. Yes, it's a little, text, and if you're not into RPGs, I get that, but come on. It's Mario. Alright, so number 6 is Star Fox 64. So basically, this takes full control of the Rumble Pack, which is probably the biggest thing for the 64 at the time. When Star Fox 64 came out, because it came with one. Star Fox 64 was a revolutionary game that literally everyone played. I remember people had this game that didn't even know what the heck Star Fox 64 was back in the day, and they loved it. I didn't even know what the hell Star Fox 64 was because I didn't grow up with that game. I didn't even own that game back in the day. I played it years on later when I was like 16 or something when that came out, and I think the Wii was coming out when that came out for me. When I played the game, so you could tell, and I didn't play it on Virtual Console. Actually, I got it for 64, but you know what I mean. So it's just basically a remake of the first game on Super Nintendo. But come on, Star Fox 64 it's a super classic. If you think anything Nintendo, you think classic video games from the Nintendo 64, just any Nintendo franchise, you're gonna think Star Fox 64 if you say Star Fox. The second one of that probably just the original Star Fox, and then after that maybe a Solar Adventures. I want to say Star Fox 2 just kind of barely got re-released, and or same with Star Fox Zero, but come on. And Command, that's like, no one remembers it really, but still. Star Fox 64 is a big one. It's the major Star Fox series game. So, yeah. Number 5. Now, before I say number 5, please bear with me of which number Mario Party game. There should be a Mario Party game on the Nintendo 64 Classic. Which one do you think? So, I had to compare it to 1, 2, and 3. Now, when I thought about number 1, okay, this would be a basic one, Mario Party 1, Mario Party. So, I was like, well, it's a fun game, it has its things. But the biggest thing is that it has the whole rubbing on the controller, and the minigames weren't that great, and many people didn't play number 1. And if they have, they didn't like it as compared to the other two. So, then there's Mario Party 2, the one that everyone has played, the one that everyone loves, the one that everyone can play, like, off the bat. Like, of course, that's where the rage and trust your friends, and, you can backstab and nod and team up, and the hidden stars, and the whole themes of every world, like Horror Land, and Pirate Land, and Western Land, and all that was in Mario Party 2. Of course, I get that. And then when we jump to Mario Party 3, it was a late release on the Nintendo 64. Not many people even played it. A lot of people didn't even know it existed until Mario Party 4 was announced on the GameCube. It was like, there's a 4? So what happened to 3? And then people started looking back at the 64, and they're like, oh, it's already sold out everywhere. Because there wasn't many copies like, Mario Party 2. So I was actually one of those people. I really was. I didn't even know about Mario Party 3. And then way later in my life, I got this like 3-4 years ago, finally got a copy of Mario Party 3, thanks to my friend FZero X. Yes, YouTube, by the way, YouTube era for me now. I played it, I could see why it's fun and everything. I'm not saying I never got into it, it wasn't my preferred Mario Party game. But the one everybody gets into is always Mario Party 2. It's always 2. So I do believe Mario Party 2, that's the one I picked, by the way, I don't know when I'm going to enter it in, is going to be on a Nintendo 64 Classic. Now, like I said, I get that the first game has a chance and the third game has a chance, but if it's realistically just those 3 and which one I'm going to pick, it's going to be 2. Not just me, but I know a billion other people are going to probably pick 2 instead of 1 or 3, and I know my people are like, well, I'm going to pick 3 other than 2, but no one's going to be picking 1 compared to 2 and 3. I mean, I know that, and if you love Mario Party 1, the first game, and you like it more than 2 and 3, that's good for you. But you got to think of it the whole world, you know? And including, think about this. Nintendo didn't even release it on the Virtual Console on their Wii channel. Same with the Wii U eShop. And if they ever release the games for their Switch, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be Mario Party 2 that comes out first. Mario Party 3 is not even there yet either, which I thought it might most likely be the next one, but it never happened. Mario Party, they just skipped the first game. I'm just pointing that out, but come on, Mario Party 2 is probably one of the best games in the series. Not saying that I hate Mario Party 3 or 1 or anything like that, or the rest of the numbers. There's a whole top 10 of that, actually. Go watch my top 10 Mario Party games of all time, whatever. But console-based, not the handhelds, but still. Mario Party 2, it should be on this thing. It should be. It's 100%, without a doubt, should be on this thing. If it supports the 4-player controller ports, if it does, this should be an instant classic. Like number 20 and a few others I said in the past, in the top list. So, number 4 should be another one with the compatible 4 players. Super Mario Kart 64. I don't know why I said Super. Mario Kart 64. Mario Kart 64. Mario Kart 64 was actually the first Mario Kart game I played. Probably a lot of people's first Mario Kart game they ever played. I never played the Super Nintendo one. I never have. And then later on I have. But I still didn't like it as much as compared to 64. Yes, I played Double Dash, you know, and then the one on DS and the 3DS one, 7, and Wii. I played all of them. But 64 is the one for me that, well, you know, started it all. For a lot of people, it has as well. And of course, it's going to be on this damn thing. Come on, it's probably the best racing game there is. Next to another one I said that was number 11. So I don't want to spoil it in case you're, you know, watching 2 parts. If you watch the full version, you already know what it is. So yeah, I just believe this thing should be on the N64 Classic, Mario Kart 64. So now we're on the top 3. It's very obvious what the top 3 is. Okay, what? I should even explain what these are. You should know what these are. If you don't know what these are, why don't you know what these are? So number 3, it's Super Smash Brothers for the Nintendo 64. It's a fighting game that supports 4-player, controllers. You fight with like 12 Nintendo representatives from like several games, as in Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, Star Fox, FZero, Earthbound, Pokemon. You know, the list goes on and on. From that game, and then up to GameCube, Wii, 3DS, and Wii U. It just, you know, it's great. It's great. I shouldn't say much about it. It's timeless. The game still could be playable to this day. It's probably not the best one, but a lot of people still probably say it is. It's Super Smash Brothers, guys. Who the fuck doesn't want it on there? Really, come on. Alright. Now, here's number 2 and 1. It's very obvious what 2 and 1 is now. It should be, you shouldn't be like, oh, it's Doom 64. Like, what the hell? No! It's not Doom 64. It's not Hexen. It's not Batman Beyond. I don't know. It's not something obscure. It's not anything like, it's the most 2 games that anybody bought on a 64. It was like my top 10 games I bought on the thing. So, for number 2, and you already know what number 1 is going to be after I say what number 2 is. I picked it for number 2 because, yes, it's classic. It's one of the most iconic games in the series. I get that. But when you compare the 2, one was basically the launch of it, and the other was basically one of the best games of all time. Well, both are one of the best games of all time. But number 2 is The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, or Ocarina or Ocarina of Time. I hate the whole which way you say it. To me, it's Ocarina of Time. Yes, this is actually one of the first Zelda games I actually ever beaten and played. Actually, I didn't play it back in the 64 era. I bought it because it was cheap, and someone gave it to me for a very cheap price, but I never got into it. I got into it later on, And I mean later on, when Twilight Princess was coming out, for me, when I went back to playing this game, I don't know, I stopped. I really loved it. I guess I got stuck. I didn't like it at times. It got boring at some points, especially the Shadow Temple place. But it was one of the best games of all time. I can't even explain it. I can't. There's been so many videos, 100 million people's opinions on this as one of the best games of all time. Especially with the word of all time. Of Ocarina of Time still being the title. But still, come on. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is number 2. And of course, if you don't know what number 1 is, come on. It's the system seller, the system starter, the launch title that came with the Nintendo 64. Super Mario 64. This game is my 64 history. Any 64 game I played, and probably anyone's played in the whole wide world, has played this game. Compared, if you played Star 54, you're gonna go to Super Mario 64. If you played Banjo-Kazooie, you're gonna go to Super Mario 64. If you played any shitty game like Super Man 64, you're gonna go to Super Mario 64. Everyone has played Super Mario 64. There's even been game developers, new games, including by Nintendo themselves, that's inspired by Super Mario 64. It's one of the best games that should even be on this thing. It's not even like an option. It's gonna be like game number 1. It's gonna be game number 1. Oh, duh. Does a top 10 list, but it's gonna be game number 1 of being the games on this list. It really is. Come on, it's gonna be game number 1. That's not even a freaking like, oh, it's a rumor, or oh, this is your opinions. No, it's gonna be for a fact game number 1. They based the Nintendo 64 on this whole new 3D platformer, you know, like polygons, shapes, everything. And this was basically just the whole prototype, and it was one of the best prototypes of all time for Super Mario 64 to start up a whole generation of gamers, developers, publishers, inspirations from everyone. Guys, Super Mario 64 is going to be on the Nintendo 64 Classic. So once again, if you really loved my opinions, if you didn't, just tell me you hate it. If you didn't see a game at all on this list that you think I should be on this thing, please let me know. I know I would have put a lot of other games on this list if it wasn't, you know, for the whole, well, you know, there's actually a better chance other than me putting this game higher on the list because I like this game better. Like Pokemon Stadium 2. I would love to see Stadium 2 on this thing. I would love. But come on, Stadium 2 out of Stadium 1, it's mostly be Stadium 1. If whatever the whole Game Boy thing, I'll play Pokemon Snap. You know, it makes sense. So, for me, like I said, that's seriously going to be it for today. Yes, there's been so many games I didn't even mention or give honorable mentions to, like Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine, Harvest Moon 64, Wave Race 64, Pilot Wing 64, Excite Bike 64. You get it. I didn't mention them, but if anything, if these games don't make it, any games I just said in the past of the whole entire video should maybe make it to the list. Maybe because, well, it's not my decision, it's Nintendo's. So once again, everybody, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe below. I already said it already. And of course, I'll see you guys all for the next one, alright? Take care.
Chaos Control!